Their entire hiring data kept manually inside all the spreadsheets.
Spending 3 to 4 hours every week just creating hiring reports.
The bigger challenge here was visibility.
So by the time someone saw an issue, the situation might have already changed. So I heard about this customer who was spending 3 to 4 hours every week just creating hiring reports. And when I first read that, I thought 3 to 4 hours just for a report.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. They had their entire hiring data kept manually inside all the spreadsheets. So every week, when they wanted to show the data to leadership, they had to pull everything together and then present it.
Wow. So before they could even discuss hiring, they had to figure out what the numbers actually were, right?
Pretty much, and that process was taking away their time, which they could have spent on actual recruiting.
So who was that company?
This was a global enterprise software company which had about 8 to 10 recruiters managing 845 open positions.
That's a lot of hiring. Was volume their main problem?
Interestingly, no. The bigger challenge here was visibility because the reporting was manual and the leadership often was looking at the information that was 3 to 5 days older.
Hold on. So by the time someone saw an issue, the situation might have already changed.
Exactly, and they weren't getting a real time view of what was actually happening.
So where does my next hire come into this story?
That's when they decided to move away from spreadsheets and move to my next hire ATS.
Were they moving from another ATS?
No, and that was interesting. They were moving from spreadsheets, so it wasn't even about implementing the software. It was the way they changed how the team worked.
I imagine that wasn't easy.
Um, it took efforts. They stopped maintaining the spreadsheets, and then hiring managers started using the platform. They started giving approvals, feedbacks, and then they made clear processes for uploading candidate information.
So everything started happening in one place?
Exactly. And over the time, the adoption became incredibly strong. Within a year, the recruiter adoption reached 99%.
Okay, now I'm curious. What happened to those reports that were taking hours every week?
So they were taking 2 to 3 hours or more, but now it happens within 30 minutes.
That's a huge difference.
It is. Leadership no longer had to wait for weekly reports. They could just check hiring progress whenever they wanted to.
So instead of discovering problems later, they could spot them immediately.
Exactly. And that let them make decisions faster.
There was one line from their head of talent acquisition that stayed with me.
Yeah, I remember the one. It was with Excel, we can talk about efforts, but with My Next Hire, we can talk about outcomes.
That's actually a great way to put it, because this doesn't sound like a story of a software, but it sounds more of a story of getting your time back.
Absolutely. It's about giving recruiters more time to focus on the hiring process rather than on spreadsheets.
Makes perfect sense. All right, that's a wrap. Share this with the recruiter who wants to see this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.